Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. Right, so in today's video we're going to be addressing finally and properly golden ISO shortage because it is absolutely ravaging throughout the community due to obviously the release of Necropolis, Kabam not including any gold in Necropolis rewards, and now also Cyber Weekend stuff. Definitely this is about as bad as I have seen the golden ISO shortage. And with this, there's also a community effort to obviously force Kabam to address this. So there is this post going around the Twitter, and I will ask you guys to share it as well. If you do use Twitter, if you don't, you can share this video on Kabam forums or wherever, just so we can get as many eyeballs on this issue as possible. Now, obviously, before we go any further, I personally am on the persuasion that this is definitely by design. It is no accident, and Kabam intended for this to happen, and we're probably going to see more golden ISO offers coming for cash very, very shortly. That said, at the same time, even if this is by design, with enough of community voice, I do believe that we can, have Kabam respond to this, because at the moment, and I want to make this perfectly clear, I'm not making this video because of any personal stuff. As I am going to be going in-game, you guys are going to see that gold-wise, I'm fine. Yes, my gold stash has dropped, but I'll survive. I still have my 100 million gold, and I'm not going to spend it anytime, in near-term future. Yes, the amount of gold I have has been dropping, but for the most part I'm fine. Now that said, once I actually do all the rank ups from the Cyber Weekend, I'm definitely going to be down to like 80 million gold, which again is going to be about the lowest I have been in the gold, but it is not that I'm making a video like this due to personal circumstance, because and realistically 80 million gold, I'm still perfectly fine with it. However, the one thing that I did notice is they're basically out of ISO. I have never had less than 2,000 ISO bricks in like last half a year. And now, it's gone. It's just gone. So I do have ways how to sort it out. I do have a couple million premium hero crystals, some other stuff, and that is exactly what I'm going to be doing here. We're going to be popping open a whole bunch of these as I am talking, because this is going to be a very, very, very tedious process. But obviously, in between opening the premium hero crystals, I'm going to be getting plenty of 3 and 4 star shards, and that's where the ISO is at. So on a personal circumstance, yet again, I'll manage. However, the reason why I did decide to make this video, well, it's quite simple, because I can use my account kind of as a measuring stick. Because obviously I have played this game for, well, basically since it came out. I have always played this game actively. I don't spend a ton on the game, but I do spend some money on the game. I'm not like the biggest of the whales, never have been, never will be. Well, at some point I spent much more, but, whatever. The point, however, I'm trying to make is, if I'm running out of ISO, if I'm being forced to take kind of like extraordinary measures to replenish my ISO stash, then I can only imagine the absolute nightmare that people are going through. Because realistically, again, I do have one of the like 100 largest accounts in the game. I believe I'm still barely, but I should be in top 100. Maybe I'm freshly out of it after Cyber Weekend. Who knows? I run through Necropolis. I'm doing like all these things. And yeah, I'm running out of ISO. And some people are going to be like, well, why don't you go grind arena? Well, I do grind arena more than most people. Like, yeah, there will be weeks when I skip arena, but at the same time, in the last month alone, I have grinded for Werewolf by Night. I have grinded for Kushala. And even if I don't grind for featured, I do go and grab, at least a portion of the milestones. So that excuse, again, goes completely out of the window. And there is a legitimate problem. I don't think it's like deniable. Again, obviously I can only base it off anecdotal evidence, but I do genuinely believe that at this point in the game, majority of the active players are really suffering from this. even the people who previously wouldn't have been. Because again, if it's touching the very tippy top of the accounts in the game, the players that effectively, are online every day and do grind for champions and do play high tier pretty much everything and do the side events and do the monthly events and do everything else, everything that you're supposed to do. The only thing that I haven't done recently, aside from Cyber Weekend, is I haven't been spending a lot of money. As in, like, I have been spending very, very, very little and few and far in between due to, personal circumstances, a few other things. But yeah, my spending has gone down slightly, somewhat. But at the same time, I shouldn't immediately run out of ISO. That is not normal. That is absolutely not normal. And I do think Kabam has something in mind. I genuinely think that, obviously this is by design, because the gold economy shouldn't be such a difficult thing. You see how much gold, each rank up takes, and whenever a new rank up level is unlocked, you increase the available gold proportionally in some areas of the game. Quite simple as that, right? And now on top of it all, we have been gaining quote unquote new ways how to earn gold. That's obviously not been helping out for everybody, because not everybody wants to play like incursions, for instance, but that is helpful. Like, you can get them from the milestones, and that's a solid chunk. But still, we definitely, like, with the introduction of 7 stars, that eats up so much ISO. And then with the introduction of relics are quite expensive to rank up as well, if you choose to do so. And the thing is, I know a lot of people who just don't touch relics, and they quite literally sell their embers because they cost a lot of gold. And so we're going basically from pillar to the post, from problem to the problem. And again, I think it's by design. And the community is getting more and more restless. And on a personal note, and this is going to be a personal anecdote, one thing to kind of be sort of somewhat sometimes be struggling with, ISO or something, or to have to kind of like squeeze in a bit. But this is going to be a genuinely like as honest message to Kabam, and I hope that somebody from Kabam hears this. When I did a new account challenge some years back, ISO issue was exactly why I stopped doing that account. Because I was completing content, and I was playing, and I was getting catalysts, and I was even somewhat managing the gold. And the game felt completely pointless, because at that point, when I pulled a new champion that was good, I realized that I'm not going to be able to rank that champion for several weeks, because I didn't have ISO, and I had to rank up like another champion before that for a specific piece of content. And that happened like 3 or 4 times, and then I looked at my roster, and I genuinely had like 5 top tier champions that I really loved to pull, that I, really wanted to use, that I really wanted to play with. And I had everything for them. I had catalysts, I had enough gold even, or at least, somewhat sufficient amount of gold to start ranking them up. And I just didn't have ISO. And then for like 1 or 2 champions, I was like specifically going to hunt for ISO and target for ISO. But it completely ruined the game experience. And that is exactly why I never touched that account again since this day. Because that is the most tedious issue. And ultimately, I think for myself and, a significant portion of the player base, gold and ISO kind of like the background values. Gold is not units. Okay, you can motivate yourself to grind units in arena even if it's tedious. It's not the same as ISO, really. You just kind of expect it to be managed by Kabam at sufficient amounts. It's like, okay, yeah, it kind of runs out at times. You can't be in a situation where you can rank up like 5 champions to rank 5 as 6 stars or rank 2 as 7 stars, and you have no ISO. That at that moment, it just feels so depressing. Like, genuinely, one of the most depressing feelings besides July 4th sales, realizing that one sales day, completely overshadowed my entire progress in the game up until that day. Besides the July 4th sales, the whole ISO struggle on my mini account was probably the worst kind of experience and feeling that I had towards MCOC. Just absolutely brutal. And I understand that Kabam obviously have their plans, have their economy, but they better fucking do something about quick. That's what they better address this quick. And again, it's never going to be perfect, and I understand that. If you don't ever spend on the game, if you don't ever grind arena, if you don't want to play incursions, yeah, you will be lacking, some resources somewhere, like gold or ice. I think that's fair. But if you do all the game modes, then why do you also have this shit? Like in my level, like virtually every single week or month for a while now, my ISO stash has been dropping and my gold amount has been dropping. And I have been playing, more than an average player, for sure. So something's definitely off. Something's definitely wrong. And whilst I can still manage for a while, I have still another million premium hero crystal shards to open, and, I'm going to have some 4-star crystals. I'll be fine, but not everybody can do that. Not everybody has that kind of like clutch or crutch they can lean on. And this is kind of like a silent yet really deadly issue for the game. So yeah, please do share this video. Make sure that Kabam sees it. Please do, retweet or react. Redo something that I'm going to leave in the video description. And let me know what is your current situation and experience. Do you have enough gold? Do you have enough ISO? Are you worried? Is your stash increasing or decreasing? Very curious to know. Even though I have a feeling I know the answer for everybody that isn't like a megalodon whale. Right. See you soon, guys. Bye-bye. Hello there, guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information